Pop's Bubble Boy was 100% correct. I'm giving myself the credit, Dad. 3.68% decline in some used car prices week over week, Dad. The market is in turmoil. Is that fair to say?
Turmoil, flux, perhaps we need a flux capacitor. I don't know. Maybe it's back to the future. What we are seeing definitely is a continuation of the wholesale value adjustments, okay, of prices continuing to decline, and the rate of decline is at almost historic levels to a certain degree in what we're seeing week over week. It was really eye-opening this week.
Okay, so Black Book every single week puts out a used car market report for the wholesale and retail markets, Dad. And this most recent week, we saw a 1.19% decline in wholesale used car prices. What does that mean? In plain English, that means that your trade-in value of your vehicle, it's a falling knife. It is coming down from those record highs that we saw earlier this year. And it means prices to go buy a used car, those are coming down significantly as well. And we can break it down by segments of vehicles, Dad. A 3.68% decline for subcompact cars. That is unfathomable.
And it really is hard to imagine, considering the fact that they are the most cost-effective cars for people to buy out there. But they've been so overvalued for so long that we're finally, we're finally starting to see the correction in what the real pricing of those vehicles should be.
Dad, mid-size cars dropped 2.55%. Like if subcompact cars hadn't fallen 3.68%, like to put this into perspective, normal week over week depreciation, and Black Book's been tracking this for years, okay? And they supply the data to the financial institutions as well as companies like ours. Become a YAA member, get Black Book values. Normal depreciation, 0.2 of a point in either direction, that's pretty normal.
Yes.
We are talking not only 10x that, like 15, 20 times that normal depreciation amount in 1 week, Dad. The level of volatility in the used car market has never been higher. The value of your vehicle sitting in your garage is changing more quickly than it ever has before. Even more quickly, I think, than when the prices ran up, Dad. They're coming down even faster.
I think the amount that you're going to be offered for your trade is coming down faster than the asking prices of the pre-owned cars themselves. And dealers will use any excuse they can to, the phrase or term in the car business is to lowball a customer on their trade value. And so when you take a car to a dealership and they offer you a trade allowance for it, and you look at them and you go, that's crazy. How did you come up with that number? Trust me, the used car manager will be pulling up Black Book data like we've just seen to justify why his value that he placed on your used car, your trade-in, is so much lower than what you had expected. He or she will be able to point out that used car values at a wholesale level, what dealers are willing to pay for them, are dropping quicker than we've ever seen. And trust me, they'll be more than happy to share that information with you to justify their offer. Now, the sad reality is that they won't use that same rationale when it comes to how they price the retail values of their pre-owned inventory. But as a consumer, you should be able to say, hey, if the value of my car is dropping as rapidly as you say it is, well, then the value of your car is dropping equally as fast, and you should be adjusting the retail pricing of that car to reflect the drop in the values.
If not even faster, because those dealers, as we've talked about ad nauseum on this channel, those dealers do not pay cash for the cars they buy. They floor plan it. They get financing just like you or I would if we bought a vehicle. And they have higher interest rates than ever before on those vehicles because interest rates are rising. The Fed funds rate, by the time this video has come out, has also gone up probably another 75 basis points. So the dealer has incentive to want to sell a used car that is becoming, as you like to call it, that a boat anchor on their lot. And Dad, other segments of vehicles that fell precipitously in the last week of October, subcompact crossovers down 2.46% and minivans down 2.5%. That is astronomical, the amount of depreciation that we're seeing in those segments. You literally print out that report. Dude, you don't even need to become a YAA member, okay, folks? Just print out the Black Book data, go to the dealership, negotiate 10% off for their advertised price, be a happy camper. If someone bought a vehicle, a dealer bought a vehicle 90 days ago, they want to get rid of it right now.
Well,
When they say, no, we don't, we're firm on our price, say, no, you're not. You bought it 90 days ago and the prices were 15% higher. Sell it to me. Like, it's pretty simple stuff, man. They're going to make it difficult, but it's pretty black and white in front of us.
Yes, and some people will be able to negotiate better than other people, and that's unfortunate, but it's true. But if you go in with your facts and figures and don't be obnoxious about it, just be, hey, it's in black and white, my friends. It's in black and white. I'm not trying to be a hard ass. It's black and white. We need to work with each other. I can help you relieve yourself of some inventory that you overpaid for in comparison to what you can replace it for and at today's current market values. So we just need to work together. I'm willing to work with you. I need you to be willing to work with me. And if they're not, you're at the wrong dealership. It's just that simple.
Be like Mark and start saving hundreds of dollars on your maintenance and repairs, or like Rich, who saved thousands annually on his insurance. Simply join YAA Plus, the only membership that saves you money on all things auto. Head to joinyaa.com/plans and use the code YouTube to save 20%.
Dad, what's happening at the auctions is super interesting. Going to read verbatim from Black Book. It was another stable week in the lanes last week. Inventory is still available and consistent, but there has been a noticeable increase in if sales and no sales, vehicles that don't hit reserves. This could mean that there is room for negotiation between sellers and buyers, and hopefully they will reach some middle ground soon. Buyer count remains stable, which could potentially mean that buyers are patiently waiting for sellers to soften their floors. They have to eventually, right, Dad? We keep saying it week over week. They have to eventually, in this most recent week with the significant declines, indicates that some are starting to finally lower those floor prices.
As a wise man once said, your first loss is your best loss. Okay, the loss that these dealers are about to take, that have been holding out hope week over week, is getting exponentially worse than it would have been if they would have taken that loss 10 weeks ago.
Carvana earnings video will be out in a couple days by the time you're watching this. Please watch that video. Like, please, because the loss that Carvana is going to experience is probably going to be, 100x what a normal local mom and pop dealership would be, just because of their scale and magnitude. But that is what's going to happen across the board. Maybe extra for Carvana because they overpaid significantly for vehicles. One other note here, Dad, from the Black Book update, which is there are still minimal signs of flood vehicles coming through, but announcements of flood vehicles from the recent hurricane are expected. So here you go. Stay prepared. Like, do not just go to a dealership that just got a recent vehicle and not get a pre-purchase inspection. That is still incredibly important, even as things are becoming negotiable and whatnot. Get the pre-purchase inspection. It is imperative before you buy a used car.
Any used car. I don't care if it's certified pre-owned. I don't care. Always get a pre-purchase inspection. And if the dealership that you're trying to do business with won't allow that, go find the dealership that will.
All right, Pops, I am so excited to see what comes out next week. Pretty incredible stuff that we are witnessing. Thanks for covering it with me.
Thank you.